Hi, welcome to Talking Shop. This is our look at the world of e-commerce and all the latest news with the marketing team here at EKM. I'm Mike and this is Phillipa. We'll have a look at some of the most important news in the world of small business and e-commerce. And coming up, the UK considers online sales tax to boost high street retailers. 81% of households get subscription boxes. TikTok confirms that 10-minute video uploads are coming to all users. 21% of retailers cut ties with suppliers for ethical or sustainable reasons. And a new survey shows that LinkedIn users strongly dislike unsolicited DMs. So starting us off, just a little pre-story, as the last, I think, 3 episodes of Talking Shop have involved this saga, that we can confirm that Amazon have struck an agreement with Visa on payment fees everywhere. So we were thinking that the .co.uk Amazon might stop accepting visas. That's now, there was a moratorium on it, now it's been solved, it's fine, move on with our lives, thank God. Okay, we can put that to bed. That's not one of the stories we're covering, but just to update you if you were waiting for an update on that particular issue. Now, this is a big one, and this has been running for quite a long time, almost pretty much pre-pandemic, and I think the pandemic sped this up in the eyes of the Treasury and HMRC, looking at the government's approach to an online sales tax. This is in a way to, at the moment, give a bit of relief to a levy and business rate tax breaks that bricks and mortar shops have been given, of course, particularly over the course of the pandemic. Now, as an e-commerce platform provider, and yourself maybe as a small business and an e-commerce website shop and an online shop, might give you sort of mixed feelings about this, because no one wants to pay more tax, really, let's be honest, but it is for a greater good in the retail ecosystem. So it's going to be an interesting one to finally see what they actually propose and come out with, isn't it? Yeah, absolutely. And I think as well, if you have an online store and then you also have a brick and mortar store, it could actually benefit you in some ways. So it's definitely early stages, I would say, so no need to panic if you are online only just yet. But yeah, it's definitely one to watch and keep an eye out for. They're saying that a 1% revenue-based online sales tax could raise about £1 billion each year, according to a bit of a consultation that's going on. Now, to put that into perspective, business rates in England generate more than £25 billion in tax revenue each year. So, your 1% isn't going to bring in much, revenue for the Treasury. So it's one of those that, like you say, it's going to be difficult for someone who's having to pay business rates and then a further online tax as well. So we will keep on top of this, and any sort of developments we will keep you notified of via the blog and, of course, here on Talking Shop as well. So we'll see what they come out with. But like you say, this has been rumbling for a little bit now. Nothing's really happened, and it still doesn't look like there's much happening, just all in a consultation period. Next one's interesting. We have 81% of households get subscription boxes. Are you subscribed to anything? Yes, food ones. Yeah, which one? Gusto. Right. Absolute favourite. There's a few different reasons why I like it, and I guess that's been mirrored as well in the reports that have been out there. Convenience is one of the main reasons, I think, as well, why people do opt for a subscription service. That's why I do it, personally. Yeah. I don't really like doing the big shop on a Sunday. So, I really enjoy it. But yeah, it's quite interesting to see how it's still on the rise. It's increased from 2020. 65% received the subscription services parcels, and now it's gone up to 81%. Which is interesting, isn't it? Which it'd be even more interesting now that it looks like this year might be sort of, touch wood, restriction free. Yeah. With people being able to go out and, sort of not having those reservations about going into supermarkets, for obvious reasons because of COVID. So if it continues to grow, it's certainly going to be something interesting. It's something that you see sort of Amazon do a lot of now, where you can subscribe to it. I want this thing delivered every 3 months and what have you. So, I'm sure that there's ways that you can do it with your payment gateways as well. So it might be something to look into. That retention of customer coming back to you. And getting those repeat orders. So absolutely, I do think it is said as well that an average person will sign up to a subscription for 9 months. So it's interesting to see why someone would sign up, continue on it for a few months and then stop. Maybe they restart it again after a break.
But yeah,
It's for the, let's be honest, it's for the free trial.
It's potentially
It's for the free trial. We've all done it. We've all set up different emails, gone, I'll have the 3-month free trial. Oh no, it's run out. I've ended up paying for for a couple of months. I'll get a new email, I'll put it in. Don't do that. Do that. Anyway, so it'll be interesting, particularly if we've got a product which really lends itself to being part of a subscription service. So keep your eye on that and possibly give it some thought. Right, we're looking at TikTok now. I love this story, and this is why I picked it out. We do like looking at social media, particularly as we're a marketing team and what have you. Every social media platform I can think of has done this and gone through this transition. So TikTok confirms that 10-minute video uploads are coming to all users. So at the moment, it's actually longer than you think, TikTok, despite the fact it's quite a short form social media. I think it's like a minute and a half you can upload at the moment.
Yeah, you started at 15 seconds, and you allowed 30 seconds, 60 seconds now, and at 3 minutes as well.
3 minutes, 3 minutes, yeah, you're right. So they're saying that 10-minute video uploads are going to come for all users. Now, like sort of alluded to there, your opinion of TikTok and the way you use it is very much the endless scroll. I want to see as much content as possible. To say that you're wanting people to stay on longer and watch videos for a longer period of time, I always think it's a bit like social media platforms are like teenagers. They start off with with sort of shorter attention spans, with this this desire for volume and quantity rather than quality, and then it grows up, doesn't it? These social media platforms mature, they go into like their 20s and 30s, and then they want to watch more richer content, more quality content rather than more sort of things.
Absolutely.
I can remember Facebook going through this. Yes. And I once had a talk from someone at Facebook where they spoke about Facebook Watch, which was meant to be this grand thing that took over and downed YouTube as like the main social media, user-generated video platform. It's never really taken off. It's never really found its own identity. It's still very intrinsically linked to the news feed and your social media feed, rather than a standalone video on-demand platform. So this will be interesting, won't it?
Yeah, and I think a lot of social medias have taken the lead from TikTok. They've followed their lead on it. They have gone for shorter snippets. The attention span has been known for consumers to be decreasing. So that some even say 2 seconds on social media. Yeah. How you can get everything in 2 seconds is unbelievable. But ultimately, I think it comes down to money, and you can fit ads in longer videos. Yeah. So TikTok obviously are wanting to make some money. We saw the collapse of Vine when that was shorter snippets of video, and they did try the longer
Vine
snippets.
was so good. I'm sorry. How did it die? It should still be here.
People started careers.
Yeah, they did. Yeah,
it's a good platform, but they did try and do the longer videos as well, and that didn't work out as well. So I think TikTok will be interesting to see how it goes. They're not totally going in blind. There is a Chinese version that do allow for 15-minute videos.
Right. Okay.
So they have a little bit of stats and kind of experience coming from that, but we'll see how it goes, because TikTok is known for its shorter snippets, so be interesting.
It's gone the same way as quite a lot of those platforms. All I see now is like classic clips nicked off the internet and re-uploaded and stuff like that. I feel like a lot of the original content just isn't quite there to warrant 10 minutes of quality video, but we'll see how that goes. This, I think we've probably, in all the talking shops I've done so far, there has been something that relates to ethical and sustainable trading in every single one, and it is such a hot topic, and it is very much of the zeitgeist. So 2021, 21% of retailers cut ties with suppliers for ethical or sustainable reasons. Now, this isn't just, as consumers looking at you and thinking, are you sustainable? It's obviously, maybe yourself as a small business owner or an online shop owner looking at your suppliers and thinking, is that next step of the chain sustainable and, ethical? And, am I getting my products from, warehouses or wholesalers who are, ethical and taking those things into account?
Yeah, absolutely. I was doing a little bit of reading up on this because this interests me so much, and apparently 2/3 of young shoppers will actually abandon their retailer if they don't show commitment to ethically sustainable products and suppliers. So it's definitely worth considering if you are a brand to kind of think about more consciously what your efforts are there and try and promote that, because people are, if there's the choice, I think people are opting for the more ethical and more sustainable brand.
Yeah, it's almost, this is like stage 2 as well, where you've had people who were looking at you know, as yourself as the shop owner being sustainable, they're getting more savvy now, and it's like, yeah, but you can say that you source it from, you know, an ethical thing. We want to see that now. We want to see who is that, you know, ethical source that you're getting it from. You know, there's a lot of, they call it greenwashing, don't they, and that sort of thing. And, you know, people are getting very savvy towards it. So sustainable means sustainable, and ethical means ethical, if that makes sense. You know, if something's being shipped from China, you know, it works for some products and, you know, high quantity products. But some people, you know, are looking for that, you know, more discerning, I guess, and more valuable product these days, aren't they? So a new survey shows that LinkedIn users strongly dislike unsolicited DMs. I have a split sort of opinion of this.
Do you get many?
A lot. Yeah, a lot. I would say more in the case of it's from a marketing point of view. Lots of people want to collaborators and that sort of thing, which is great, and I understand why they want to approach you. In sort of previous jobs I've had, it's been more from a supplier point of view. People wanted to sell you some sort of a platform and what have you, which again I understand because it's sort of their job. It is that whole unsolicited part of it though, which sort of is very murky, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know,
I've definitely been on that side of things, but I've also been on the receiving end of it as well. So I think it's becoming clearer that it's more of a longer game now. You have to, if you are selling on LinkedIn or promoting yourself on LinkedIn, it's trying to connect with people organically, I think, is the way forward. It is a longer game though, and I'm sure there are some salespeople out there that still get the successes from unsolicited. I'm surprised as well that people actually report getting people messaging them as though it's a dating site. That was also, I would never think that, but apparently people do that on LinkedIn as well. So maybe that warrants, that's unsolicited, I would say.
I would say that's unsolicited on many different aspects. There's a poll run by Social Media Today, just to show you where this ranks and why this is, you know, pretty startling, really. When they've asked what is the most annoying thing about LinkedIn, and they've had over, you know, about 3,500 responses to this. 25% said spammers and scammers, 22% said off-topic posts, 23% said irrelevant notifications, and 30%, the most amount of people said unwanted messages. So people are noticing this, and I have to admit, I think my inbox on LinkedIn, I don't even look at it anymore, I don't think, because it is just full of stuff that just is borderline relevant to me, really.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I say, there's a fine line between, and I'm sure some people do get some huge successes.
Yeah.
But I do think people, much like everything else we've talked about today, are becoming more savvy to stuff than seeing what people are doing a little bit more. So I feel like there's definitely a shift in the way that people are approaching people on LinkedIn, in particular, especially when it's selling a product. So
yeah, I hate to say this buzzword, but it is about being more organic and natural, isn't it, really, these days? If you just pop up in somebody's messages with no prior connection or affiliation to someone, it's a red flag immediately, isn't it? It's sort of like you're just literally trying to sell me something straight out. You're not interested in what I do. You are just, you know, plugging something, and it doesn't lead to a very natural conversation, does it? While as I do see great connections happening, particularly in local business groups, where people connect with people and they start to learn, you know, what each other does and what have you. So
you can do that organically, as you say. You can do that through engaging with posts, people, what they're posting on LinkedIn. You can get involved with communities and groups that are on LinkedIn. There are ways of doing it and getting yourself and your brand out there in front of people without having that pushy, salesy presence.
Yeah, it's a strange animal, is LinkedIn, and I sort of flip-flop between whether I like it or whether I can't really be doing with it, to be honest, because everyone is very protective of the type of things that are allowed on LinkedIn. So use an example of Gary Neville. He is a business owner now, obviously has his hotel in Manchester, ex-footballers. He's put the odd political thing on, and people, and I think this doesn't just mean that, you know, because people disagree with his political opinion. I just don't think people want that on LinkedIn, do they? It's very much that this is what this platform is for. It's for people doing business, you know, and sort of sharing success stories, that sort of thing. And people don't seem to want that on the platform, but then it gets a bit murky of when does politics become a vital piece of information for a business and that sort of thing. So if you are utilizing LinkedIn, maybe just make sure that it remains quite natural, and you're not doing that classic thing where you're sending out hundreds of messages and you're just changing someone's name. And I've had it where someone's not changed the name, but they've changed the company and not changed the company, and it gets very, very, very messy. So, just be yourself on social media.
Absolutely.
That's all you need to do. Right, I think that's all we've got time for on Talking Shop this week. But do remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel and give the video a like. Tell your friends as well. And we'll see you next month.